Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Delaney, and for today's video, as you can probably tell by the title, we are going to be doing a whole full face of makeup dedicated to one brand, and that one brand is very near and dear to my heart. They're affordable, they have amazing packaging, their products are usually very high quality, and that brand is Colourpop. And this brand has gotten a lot of hype throughout the years, especially for the price point. It is very accessible to pretty much everyone because of that. So that is one reason I really love this brand. Also, I don't know who their marketing team is, but they are doing a phenomenal job. Their collections are so on trend. They are just so cute. The packaging is always wonderful. They do a lot of collaborations with other creators, and especially beauty YouTubers, and that is also another great thing to see from a brand. I don't know what else to say. If I could manifest something to happen, if I could throw something out into the universe, if I were to do a brand collaboration, Colourpop would probably be my #1 choice, just because they are so accessible to everyone. They are inclusive with their shade ranges, and they have just a wide variety of products so that everyone can find something they love, and their products are usually just so good. So I got inspired to do a full face of makeup using only Colourpop products. So if you're interested in seeing what products I will be using today, keep on watching. So I have zero makeup on currently, and it's looking a little bit rough today, but we're just gonna look past that. As you can see, I got a little something here, a little something here. So ignoring all of that, let's get on with the very first step. And I'm actually going to do a little bit of an extra step that I don't normally use, just because I did actually get these products very recently. I am going to put on, this is from Fourth Ray Beauty, which is Colourpop's sister brand, but this was actually in the most recent collection, the Garden Variety collection, not the newest. They come out with stuff every day, it seems like, so this is from the Garden Variety collection. But it came in a little duo pack, so I have never tried anything from Fourth Ray Beauty before until now. So let's get into it. This is a Glisten Up mist. It is an illuminating mist, so I figured this would be really nice underneath makeup, and if you shake it up, you can see it kind of swirling around in there, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So I cannot wait to put this on my face. All right, let's get on with the mist. No real scent to it. I was expecting some like orangey kind of scent just because of the color, and usually these kind of brightening mists, although it's not really brightening, it says it's illuminating. Usually these kinds of mists smell like oranges for some reason because of the vitamin C, but I like that it doesn't have a scent, so I am good with that. I don't really notice much illuminating, but let me know it in the comments if you do. I don't know. So some of these products are first impressions, and some of them I actually have tried for a while and really loved, so I will tell y'all when I get to them. I will save that other mist for later. All right, so the first step of my actual makeup routine is primer. And the next two products that I actually am using, I have put in my everyday makeup drawer, so that's how you know they have stolen my heart. So the first item, so the primer I will be using today is, of course, the Colourpop, Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Primer. That's a mouthful to say, but it's a beautiful primer, and it smells like coconut cake, but like a very light scent. It's not terrible. Baxter, what do you want? So this primer has a scent to it, but it's nothing crazy. It smells fresh, ironically, but it does have a little bit of a coconut scent in here. So if you don't like scented things, maybe this is not for you, but I also do not like scented things, and this doesn't bother me at all. So it's really up to your personal preference on if you like the smell, but to me, it smells delicious. So, all right, I'm going to take one pump onto my finger here. And it is a little bit runnier, so be careful. It will kind of pop right out of there like it did just then. And I just like to warm it up on my fingers. Not really any name for this technique. And just press it into my skin all over my face. And yeah, it almost has like a suntan lotion kind of coconut scent, which I like. It does not have SPF in it, but it kind of reminds me of suntan lotion with the smell. But I like to pat it into my skin until it's a little bit tacky so that my foundation ends up kind of like sticking to it. So it feels really great on the skin, it absorbs really quickly, and then leaves just a slight tackiness, which I personally really love in a primer. All right, and it kind of makes everything just a little bit smoother. It's not a smoothing primer, it's a hydrating primer. So be sure when you're looking at products, what are the claims? I mean, does it do what it says it's doing? It hydrates my skin. It hydrates my skin, so that's what I care about. Okay, so that is it for the primer. And now we are moving on to a product in the same family. And that is her older cousin. She's full glam, she's ready. That is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I don't know why that took me forever to think of. But this is in shade Fair 25W. And to be honest, this is almost, I think this might be a shade too dark for me. Not by much, still a really good shade. It's like my summer shade, I guess. Which it is summer, so it kind of works. But if I were to actually get the shade that I was looking for, I would go a shade lighter than this, just because I like to go my skin tone and then bronze up where I need it. So this has actually been a really wonderful foundation. I've been using this for the past week or so, and I've been using it every day, and I still haven't gone, you would be able to see how much I used, like of the primer. I've been using it for the same amount, and you can see how much I've used in here, but you can't really tell on the foundation. But I also use one pump and done, and it covers my whole face, and you'll see that in just a second. So this is a medium buildable coverage foundation. Beautiful finish on the skin, very natural looking, blends in, looks like my skin, which I really enjoy. So I'm gonna take my Real Techniques sponge here. This is a dampened sponge, and I'm going to do one pump onto the sponge. All right, so one pump. You can hear my dog crying in the background because he just wants to get up on the stool. So I just did one pump, and that's probably all I'm gonna need for my face. So let's go. All right, so dot, 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 and then just go out with the excess. And that's like, you get so much out of one pump, and just like, I'm gonna start blending, and I'm gonna be skipping around just a little bit so you don't just watch me pat, 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 pat all the time. But it is a beautiful coverage. I mean, look what it's already doing. And that's just the little that I put on the side. All right, so you can see this side of my face is almost completely blended out now, and it looks so much better. You can just evens out the skin tone, gives me really nice coverage. I love it. All right, I'm gonna finish up the rest of my face real quick. All right, so I am completely done blending out that foundation, and I think it looks really beautiful. As you can see, my acne is still showing through. I just built it up to be medium coverage, literally just dabbed it on my face and then blended out. Didn't add any more layers to it, but you can definitely build this up if you want the coverage to be a little bit more. But even though I do have acne showing through, I am the kind of person that wants my foundation to look like my skin. So I don't mind a little bit of that showing through. And to me, it's just me, but elevated. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want a mask on. I want to look like myself. So I don't really need it to be super full coverage, which has definitely been a shift in attitude since like high school and all that. I used to wear full coverage. But I think it looks beautiful the way it is. And plus I'm going to be adding a little more coverage with the concealer. So I'm happy with the way that my foundation is looking right now. And if you can see, it's not matte or anything, but it's also not dewy. It is a hydrating formula, so it does have that hyaluronic acid in it. So it is probably better for dry skin types. I have kind of dry combo skin, so it actually does really well for me. For someone who's oily, I'm not sure how this would work. I'm not the best person to ask because I don't have that oily skin. So there are definitely some other creators out there who have reviewed this who have oily skin. So just if you have oily skin, please go check and see if this would work well for you. But it works wonderfully for me, and I have dry combination. So I occasionally get oily, but not usually. But I get oily in some parts, like my chin. That's not my chin. My forehead. My T-zone gets oily. That's probably the best way to put that. All right, moving on. We're going to be going into another product in the Pretty Fresh line, and this is the Colourpop. Duh. How many times am I gonna say Colourpop? Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer, and this is in shade Fair 10 Neutral, and I love this concealer. As you'll probably see in my upcoming foundation concealer video collection, blah blah blah. You'll see I have repurchased this so many times. I have 3 right now. This one's my full one, and then these 2 I've used so much that I can barely get any more out of it. But I do not waste makeup on this channel, so I use this if I want to do cut creases or for spot concealing if I can get just a little bit out of the container. So let's dive into the full one real quick. And it has a wand that looks like this, and it's a really thin wand. It's not as thick as like a Shape Tape or an e.l.f. concealer wand, but I actually still really love it. All right, and I'm just gonna I always like to start with the concealer under my eyes and then work towards the other parts of my face. So I'm gonna go just make a little bit of a triangle, kind of concentrating the concealer in this triangle of my face, and kind of working my way up a little bit just to give like a mock facelift a little bit. But as you can see, the coverage is actually really nice. It's not a full coverage concealer like the e.l.f. or Tarte Shape Tape, but it is a really nice kind of medium coverage concealer that's really hydrating. So that is what it looks like now that the concealer is underneath my eyes. Now I'm going to take the concealer and put a little bit on my forehead, down my nose, and on my chin. And then I will blend this out and be right back. All right, concealer is all blended out. Now, I am realizing that I don't have a Colourpop powder, setting powder. I do have an illuminating powder that's more like a highlighter, so I can't really set my under eyes. We all hate me if I just use my other powder off camera real quick. Just gonna use this off camera real quick, please. All right, I'm back, and yeah. All right, so moving on. We're gonna pretend like that didn't happen. The next product that I will be using is a brow product, and because I usually do my brows before I do the rest of my face, just because I don't know why I have trouble visualizing my whole look with my brows a mess. So this is the Colourpop Precision Brow Pencil, and this is in the shade Blonde. Blonde Moment. It's like a brown blonde moment. Get it? All right, so this is the first time I will actually be using this pencil. And how do you get it up? That's not a question you want to ask. Ooh, okay. I think I did it. It's really hard to twist, and it's like the opposite direction that you would think you would do. I usually, you know, go this way, but it's wanting me to go this way, and it's actually like pushing against me. So I don't know if like this is just my brow pencil and it's bad, but it still comes up. It just takes a lot of force. All right, so first I'm just gonna take the spoolie end and just kind of comb the other strands to where I want. I'm not going to do an in-depth brow tutorial. I'm just going to kind of show a little bit on camera and kind of speed it up a little bit. All right, so it's really pigmented. Oh my gosh. This is the first time I've tried this. That is real pigmented. Okay. It's actually really creamy and nice. I'm just going to kind of do little flicks. All right, so you can see that harsh line. I usually do the harsh line on the bottom and then take the spoolie and just work up. through the brow. See how that kind of dissipated a little bit? All right, and then I usually go a little bit darker towards the tail. Super fine strokes or anything, because I actually do have a lot of brow hair, so I don't need to look like I have more brow hair, if that makes sense. But I actually really like this pencil. So yeah, I'm just gonna make the tail a little more defined, and I'm gonna do like baby strokes in here to see if I like that look. I mean, it looks defined, so. I'm not saying that the way I do my brows is like the way everyone should do their brows, because I'm not the professional in this realm. Brows are probably the thing that in makeup that I'm least comfortable with, just because I don't usually do that much to my brows. And you can love it, you can hate it, whatever, but that's what I do. So moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this little brow real quick. Okay, so the other brow is now done, and I actually like this brow pencil a lot. It was really affordable on the website, and this color I think really works for me. It really matches my hair very nicely. So I'm gonna very much continue using this. And it's really fine tip too, so the precision part they did get right. As far as long wear, I'll have to see, but looks good so far. So moving on, so I also realized that I don't have a bronzer from Colourpop. Yeah, I don't have a bronzer. Does Colourpop even make a bronzer? I'm trying to think if they do. I think they do, but I don't even know if they had them in stock when I went to make my purchase for the other items in my collection that I don't have, like full face wise for Colourpop. As I said before, I did forget one thing that I know of in the future, so I don't know if they just didn't have it, or I don't know. I'll pop up in the screen if they actually do have a bronzer that's in stock, but for time purposes, I'm gonna go ahead and use the bronzer that I use every single day, so be right back. All right, so I went ahead and added my bronzer just because, oops. But hey, it's my channel, my video. I can do what I want. Hopefully, I'm honestly not trying to clickbait with a full face of kind of thing, because I would think if I watch this video that it is a full face, so don't come at me in the comments, or do, whatever. But so my bronzer is all done, and next up I do have a brand new item from Colourpop. Again, it's from the Garden Variety collection. This is the pressed powder blush, and it's in Desert Rose, and this little succulent on the front is this just the cutest thing ever. I love succulents. I'm basic, I know, but it even has this little imprint of a succulent on the blush itself, and it's just such a cute pink tone, like on the kind of on the warmer side, but definitely still leans neutral. But this is so cute. And this is probably, I think this is the first time I'm trying this. Yeah, it is the first time. I don't know why I was confused about that. But okay, so I'm going to dip into here. I almost don't want to because it's so pretty, but it does have like the faintest amount of shimmer in here. I can see little flecks in here, but it doesn't look like glitter on your face, so that's good, right? I mean, for me, I'd probably like it, but anyway, moving on. It's got a little fuzzy. There we go. On the packaging, not in the blush. All right, so I'm gonna take my Boddington Beauty blush brush, and I'm going to go right in here, just 2 little dips, and then knock off some of the excess. Ooh, she's pigmented. Okay. She's definitely pigmented. I love that. Okay. So far the color is beautiful. It's very natural on my skin, so I really do enjoy that. It's a beautiful just pop of pink. Not too bright, not too crazy, still looks natural, but you can still see the blush on my skin, so I really love that. Perfect. That's like the perfect blush shade for me. I really love that. This actually reminds me of the color that I get from my Charlotte Tilbury blush. I have Pillow Talk in the Cheek to Cheek blush formula, and this is very similar. I think the Cheek to Chic blush is a little more red toned than this. This is definitely more on the just neutral pink side, but this is beautiful. Oh, I love that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the other side and I will be right back. All right, so I am done applying this blush. This is so pretty. I highly recommend this blush formula. This is like the perfect blush for me. It is buildable, but pigmented. This only took about 2 to 3 little bloop, 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 bloop. Yes, that's an official unit of measurement, okay? Write it down in the textbooks, y'all. Bloop, 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 bloop. Got it, okay. Are you taking notes, kids? But yeah, I really, really love this blush. It looks super natural, super natural. Yes, I love it. What more can I say? Yes, just yes. All right, so the blush is on. I feel like I look so much more alive and happy right now when blush is on. It looks really beautiful. Okay, I got really excited about that, sorry. Don't you love when you order products and they just work for you? Gotta love it, right? I desperately need something on my lips a little bit, so I'm gonna go in with I have 2 Colourpop lip products that I'm going to be using in today's video. Sorry, I'm uncomfortably close to the camera. So I'm going to be using a combination of this. This is a Colourpop Lippy Sticks in the shade Cookie. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, Cookie. And then I have this was seen in my most recent Colourpop, like trying new Colourpop thing with the collection. With the Wild Nothing collection. This is a Colourpop Luxe Lip Oil, and this is in the shade Playa Vista. And I'm gonna put these two together because this one is a matte lippy stick, and then I just want the oil for some hydration on there. As you can tell, I love hydration, okay? Hydrate or dihydrate, you know? Did anyone used to say that to you? I remember in college, people said that all the time. Wild, right? All right. So these are really pigmented on the first swipe. They kind of have a little bit of a scent. It's just like a sweet scent. Nothing crazy, not too overpowering. This is a nice neutral pink color. Kind of on the brown-ish side, but I actually really love this color just in general. This is probably my favorite lippy stick that I have. I think I have one more and it's on the mauve side, but Cookie is my favorite one. So this is just the lippy stick on its own. And now I'm going to add the Luxe Lip Oil on top. And it just has a cute little, it's like the same applicator as the concealer, which is kind of funny. I'm just gonna add that right on top. So it looks like I just added a gloss. Feels like I just added a gloss, but it's just a boost of instant hydration right then. Like, it feels so good. It's not sticky at all. Smells delicious. And it's a really pretty shade. So that is the lip combo of the lippy stick and the lip oil. All right, so here is the lip combo of the lippy stick in shade Cookie and the Luxe Lip Oil in shade Playa Vista. And I think it looks really nice. It looks like I'm just wearing a gloss on top of a nice lipstick. And these products are so nice and affordable. I've actually been using the lippy stick for so long. I'm so surprised that I haven't run out. I'll probably have to repurchase when this is empty from Ulta. And then the lip oil, I've been using it since I got it. Since I reviewed it in that Wild Nothing collection review, I've been using it every single day. So, love it. It's beautiful. Okay, so I have, let's see, one more face product. So I need to do a highlight, and then I will move on to the eyes. So I have a couple to choose from. I have this OG Colourpop pressed powder for the face, and the reason I did not use this to set my eyes, the reason I did not use this to set my eyes is because it is so luminous. I mean, I use it as a highlighter. If I put this underneath my eyes, it would just look crazy. So yeah, so as you can see, I've hit pan on this very, very much. I love this. This is so old. You cannot still get this. It's discontinued, so I'm probably not going to use it in this video today, just because I want you to be able to recreate this look if you would like. But just to show you what OG Colourpop was like, I mean, so this is why I did not use it as a powder for under my face. It looks like a highlighter. Legit a highlighter. So it's a subtle one. It's a very natural highlight, but it is a highlight nonetheless, and it's just a little bit too luminous for underneath my eyes. So I actually do use it as a highlighter a lot. But for today's video, I am going to be using something else. So I have two different formulas for highlighters from Colourpop, and they are technically the same formula, I guess, but they're in different packaging. So I have, oh, I got hair on it. So first I have the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek in Flexitarian, and this one is so highly used in my collection that it's broken. I take it with me a lot of places, and it's a really, really soft formula, so it breaks a lot, but you can kind of smush it back together. So that's why it's not the prettiest looking highlight in the world, but it is beautiful. I actually use this usually for my eye, for the inner corner of my eye and for my brow bone. So I'm gonna wait and use this on the eyes. I'm going to use the Villains Colourpop Super Shock Cheek Highlighter, and this is the Maleficent one. This is Mistress of All Evil, and the packaging on this, 10 out of 10. When they collaborated with Disney, oh my god. I'm so excited when they did. Ironically, I didn't even get the Disney Princess collection. I kind of wanted to, but I just didn't want to spend money at the time. But Villains, I love Maleficent so much, and so when this came out, I was like, yes, I'm getting it. So here she is. This is the Super Shock Cheek Highlighter in Mistress of All Evil, and it's a nice champagne-y kind of shade, and it has like different flecks of glitter in there. It's really hard to pick up on camera, but let's go ahead and apply it to the cheek, and hopefully you can kind of see it. So I'm gonna go ahead with my, I use a setting brush from Real Techniques for my highlighter brush, just because I like it, so yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and dip into here. I will say the Super Shock formula is harder to pick up on a brush than it is your finger, but it still looks really beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put that on the high points of my cheeks, and you can already see it kind of glowing a little bit. I actually really like that. It looks very wet on the skin, and this shade is perfect for me. I'm really pale, so this kind of like, I'm really pale, so this shade really looks very natural on me. It's kind of a champagne-y gold kind of shade, but it's really, really light, really fair. So, all right, so I think that side of my face looks good, and it looks really nice and wet on the skin. I usually don't use this highlighter on its own. I usually use another more blinding highlight on top, but for subtle natural days, I actually do use this one. So I'm just gonna go a little bit more subtle today. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so that looks really good, I think. Kind of hard to pick up on camera just because of all my lights, but I love this highlighter, and it looks super, super beautiful. It is a glittery highlight, so I will say that. You can knock some of the glitter off if you just tap your brush before you apply it, but some glitter will still be on there. So if you want a more metallic highlight that's not glittery, I would probably go with something like Flexitarian. But if you like glitter like me, this is perfect. And I think they still sell it on their website. If they do, I will put it right here. If they don't, I'm sorry. That's the only other highlighter I had from Colourpop, so I kind of had to use it. But yeah, so that is the face, and now we're going to be moving on to the eyes. All right, so the first step that I do for my eyeshadow is always, no matter what palette I do, I actually reach into Colourpop Flexitarian, because I want my inner corners of my eyes to be nice and bright and make me look more awake and just happy, I guess. And I like a little bit of contrast underneath my brow bone, so I'm gonna go in and use my pinky finger into the Flexitarian, and that's usually the perfect shape to get it into my inner corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it, just kind of pat it into the inner corner. Sorry, you can't see my mouth right now, but and just kind of spread it out a little bit so it's not too harsh, but you can see the difference if I turn. I like it. You don't have to use this step if you don't want to, but I do this every single time, so might as well do it for this video. Perfect video to do it for, right? So inner corner is done. Then I still take my pinky finger and the flexitarian and I just go right underneath my brow bone. Just add a little bit of contrast so you can kind of see. It just makes my brow look more defined. So it looks like I spent more time than I actually did. So yeah, that's my first step, and I just feel like it makes me look way more awake. So again, optional step, but I do it every time. So I thought I would show you. So this next step is hard because I'm not really sure what Colourpop palette I want to do. Go ahead and check out my eyeshadow palette collection if you'd like to see all of the Colourpop palettes that I actually own. I love them all for different reasons, and I don't know which one I want to use. So keeping with the villains theme, this is one of my favorite Colourpop palettes that I own. It's just so beautiful. I love Disney. I love the villains theme. The fact that it's just misunderstood, just everything about this palette I love. So I'm just gonna keep going since I use the highlighter. I might as well, right? I will pop up if it is still available, but I think this was limited edition. But anyway, so the Colourpop formula is the same overall. Just depends on what color scheme you really like. Like some of my favorite ones are the Sweet Talk palette, Fame. I really did like that Wild Nothing palette, and yeah, oh, and the Zodiac palette. I'll put pictures when I say that. I really love all of those color schemes. It's really hard for me to pick which one I want to do for this video, but the reason that I want to do this one is because here is the color scheme on the inside of the Misunderstood palette. I have my blue nails going today. I have the blue sweatshirt on. So I was kind of feeling, I know you thought I was gonna say a blue eyeshadow, but really what I want is this green shade right here. I need that all over my lid right now. I have been absolutely loving green eyeshadow lately, and I have no idea why. I think it's because I have green eyes and it just kind of makes it pop a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna do, but you can't go wrong with literally any Colourpop eyeshadow palette. I mean, if you watch people's collection videos, I guarantee you're gonna see a whole lot of Colourpop. Just because the formula is so good, and then Super Shock shadows, so good, but their pressed pigments or their pressed powder shadows are just so blendable and pigmented. I'm gonna stop ranting because you'll see it, but as per usual, I'm gonna go in with my Lavish Beauty brush, and I'm gonna go into Tragic first just to set my lid. I'm gonna kind of mix into Tragic and No Spots, which is the white matte shade. So I'm just gonna use that to set my lid down. If I have any, I didn't powder my eyes, so if I have any excess like concealer that's still kind of sticky, this will just kind of make sure that it doesn't grab onto shadow when I try to place it. So all right, so my lids are set, and now I'm going to go into Tragic again, but I'm gonna really build it up this time. So it's this shade right here. And because I'm going in with that green shade on the lid, I just want a very neutral transition shade to kind of go in there. And I'll deepen it up slightly with another shade, but I don't want it to be too crazy because we are gonna be using a colorful shade on the lid. So that is about where I want it to be. It's super subtle, not saying it's supposed to jump out at you. This is not the main event of the show, so I just need a light layer of this down, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye. All right, so the shade Tragic is laid down. I think this is beautiful. It's a very subtle shade, but again, it's gonna be kind of leading into the other shades, so I'm not going to build it up too much. Now I'm gonna go into the shade Devious, which is the other matte shade right next to it, and I love that my nails are matching this vibe right now. I did not intend for that, but so I'm gonna go into Tragic with the same brush and just kind of knock off the excess, make sure it doesn't deposit too much, and I'm gonna focus this towards the outer corner of my eye. And you guys are probably used to me saying this if you have seen my other videos. This is kind of the same formula that I apply to my eyeshadow every day. I just kind of switch up the colors, but I do love to just deepen up the outer corner of the eye, give some dimension, so it just looks like you did a lot more than you actually did. I'm all about easy looks that pack a punch. So See how me adding this darker shade to the outer corner kind of makes my eyes pull this way, especially if you kind of flick upward. It kind of pulls your eyes up and kind of gives you a fake facelift a little bit. Just makes your eyes look more feline and feminine. If you've ever heard someone talk about it like that, that's what they're talking about. It's just bringing the color up and creating shapes with your eyeshadow to kind of give you a different effect. So just a little fun fact. I think this looks really beautiful, soft, feminine, not too colorful. This is a very neutral look right now. All right, so that part is done. And we can always deepen up the corner again after we apply the shimmer shade, but this is where I want to stop for now, just so we can add that color in. All right, now I'm gonna go into that light green shimmer shade, and it is Diablo. And I haven't used this in a while. Ooh, it's still really soft. Awesome. So this is the shade Diablo. It's just a lime green kind of beautiful shimmer. I don't know what else to say about it. All right, and it's really nice and creamy. Oh, really pigmented too. Haven't used this shade in actually a really long time, so really happy that it's still as creamy as I remember. And I just like to, I promise I'm not flicking you off. I'm just using my middle finger because my other finger has stuff on it. This part, you can take it up if you want to, but I kind of try to keep it as close to the crease as I can and just stop at the crease. But of course, you don't have as much control when you use your finger, but you get a lot better application. If you try to apply a shimmer shadow with a brush, sometimes it just doesn't pack the same punch as if you did it with your fingers. So that's why I always do my fingers. I'd rather have less control and just more of a punch. So I'm gonna go back in with my Lavish brush and I'm just gonna blend it out just so there's no harsh line and make sure that that crease is nice and blended. And I am going to deepen up the outer corner a little bit. So I'm gonna go back into the shade Devious, which was that darker brown shade. And just fun fact, this palette doesn't have that many mattes in it. It has 4 or 5 mattes, and then the rest are colorful shimmer shades. So if you want a more neutral palette, this is probably not for you. But if you like experimenting with different colors and then having those few neutral options to go with those colorful shimmers, this is a palette for you. Which, if you're like me, I love to add the neutrals and then the color and just make it more natural looking. So if you like this look, you can get it with this palette. Okay, so I'm gonna dip into shade Devious with my eye shading brush from Lavish, just so it's a little bit more concentrated. And I'm just gonna kind of pack that right here, kind of blend it in with that shimmer shade a little bit. All right, I kind of mixed the 2 brown shades to go underneath my eyes, to go underneath on my lower lash line, just to kind of tie in the whole look. Now I'm gonna just finish blending. And the beauty of this is if you want to add more shimmer because you feel like it kind of got lost in the blending process, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so I really like that. This is an optional thing, but I feel like I need some glitter on my eyes. You should probably know that. If you've watched my channel, if you know my Instagram account, I'll pop it up right here. You'll see why. Okay, so I am going to go in with another Colourpop product though, so it fits. This is the Colourpop Jelly Much Shadow, and this is Mojave Moves. This was also featured in my Wild Nothing collection video, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out. And here we are. Here is the Jelly Shadow, and I'm gonna go ahead and reach into just the excess that's on the top, just because, again, I don't want to waste any product. And okay, so that right there is the Jelly Much Shadow. Beautiful. Tap off a tad of the excess just because I don't want it going on super concentrated, and just kind of tap all over, so you're not displacing the color at all, because I don't want to take away that green. I just want to make it a little bit more shiny. All right, and that just made it 10 times better for me. I need glitter. I just think it's boring without glitter. I don't know why. I mean, I loved the color before, but I would much rather have something sparkly that's that color, so that's why. Okay, so that is the Jelly Mutt shadow on top, and it just makes it nice and shiny and gorgeous and glittery. So thank you to the Jelly Mutt shadow. I had just tried it for the first time in that other collection video, not collection, the new Colourpop collection video, and I have loved it ever since. I'm so glad that I got it in that neutral color because I can put it on top of everything. So there we have it. That is my eyeshadow for today. And now I am going to go ahead and, do I want a faux liner? I feel like I've done that for a lot of videos in the past. I'm gonna do that real quick. So I'm just taking a little bit of that darker brown shade, the Devious shade, with my Sigma shader inner corner brush. And I'm just gonna kind of use that to make a little bit of a darker line, just so it kind of looks like a liner. I don't want it to really mimic it, but see how it just like changed the look of my eyes real quick? I don't know if y'all see it, but I definitely do. And sometimes I don't like adding actual liner, but I'm actually gonna take a little bit of 101, which is that matte black shade, and I'm going to add it a little tiny bit. I'm just gonna take one little dot in there, knock off the excess. I'm gonna put it on my lower lash line and just kind of work it into that line. There we go. See how much deeper that looks now? That's why I love having a matte black and a matte white shadow in a palette, because you don't always have to make it actually just solid black. You can use it just to darken up shades. So like I'm doing with this, I'm making my own kind of makeshift dark brown, just by taking some of that black shadow and mixing it with the darker brown, just to kind of give it a little bit more depth. But I actually really like that. Gonna kind of continue it to the lower lash line, just with the excess, not adding any more. All right, I really like that. All right. So yeah, I think it kind of looks like I'm wearing eyeliner, which technically I am. It's just not an actual eyeliner product. Okay. So now that my eyes are done, I am going to do a little bit of mascara, which I don't have the Colourpop mascara because Ulta was sold out when I went and I couldn't get it there, and then I just forgot to get it from Colourpop when I ordered. So it was a whole big fiasco. So we're just gonna not and say we did. So I'm actually gonna use the Essence Lash Princess just because Colourpop's affordable, Essence is affordable. If you want to recreate this look, you very much can. You might even have this in your collection. It's a really very popular mascara. So I'm gonna do this off camera and I will be right back. Alrighty, so I just added the Essence Lash Princess mascara and I am absolutely loving my eyes right now. I love this green shade, I love the glitter on there, and I love that it's all from Colourpop. Super affordable, super beautiful, and this is my full face. Actually, no, I'm gonna add a setting spray real quick. So this is not a setting spray per se, but it did come in the Fourth Ray Beauty Duo that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. This is the Fresh AF Energizing Mist, and it's just a clear mist, and it's supposed to just hydrate your skin. So I'm hoping it's just gonna kind of melt all the powder together and just be like an energizing boost. So let's try it out. Okay, so that smells like cucumber and rose. It definitely has a little bit of rose scent in there. I really do like this mist. It feels nice on the skin. As far as energizing, I don't feel any more awake, but but I guess it's for your skin, so yeah, it feels really nice on the skin, and I think it kind of melts in the powders really nicely. So usually I would go ahead and add like my Hourglass Ambient powder over top just to kind of do a little finishing powder action, but since this is a full face of Colourpop, I would feel weird doing that, but I actually don't think I need to today. But so the full face is done. As you can probably tell, like you can still a little bit see some of my acne, which I'm fine with. I've come to terms with my skin, the fact that I have acne, so I don't need to like completely cover them up to feel confident, but I actually really like the way my face looks right now. And all of these products were super affordable, and they are Colourpop, and I love them. So I don't think there was a single product in here that I didn't like. But anyway, so that was the video for today. This is my full face of Colourpop makeup, and I think it looks really beautiful, and I love this green. I love this palette. What a collection. That's probably my favorite Colourpop collection that they've had, is the Disney Villains one. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you're staying safe, happy, and healthy out there. Please continue to wear your masks. And please drop below in the comments your favorite Colourpop products. I would love to hear. Maybe there's something in this video that I haven't tried that you just need me to try, because you need to spread the word about it, right? What are your favorites from Colourpop? Was there a collection from Colourpop that you were just dying to have? Let me know down in the comments. For me, as soon as I saw the Wild Nothing palette, I was just like, oh my gosh, here we go. I'm gonna need that. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you would like to watch some of my other videos, please, YouTube should be recommending a video down below, or you should just click somewhere. But thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.
I can't wait to leave this town, 'cause lately I've been feeling down. The cold nights just don't feel the same. Oh